Okay, so were we going to ask Matt to do a front country field trip report?
So yesterday we took about 30 to 35 folks up to Gorge Creek Trailhead, and we primarily focused on the Bear Creek fire and some of the things we did with that. And so that fire started as we fully tried to suppress it when it first started. It was not in the wilderness. We launched an aggressive initial attack on it. It rapidly transitioned into a larger incident, and so we pulled the firefighters off from initial attack, and we focused on point protection and doing what we could both in and out of the wilderness. Fire eventually ended up growing to 70,000 acres, just that part, and that's not counting the Trail Creek part. But it presented some unique challenges, and the part I think that I liked the most about that, given last year's resource shortages, we were forced to become very efficient with what resources we had. And we had some really good questions. We had a really diverse group that was out there yesterday. In addition to all the students, we had a lot of the people that were here for the fire, and we had some really good questions ranging from what were some of the political, social, and economic risks associated with that. Why did you make some of the decisions that you did? As far as closures go, all the way down to what's the difference between a Type 5 fire and a Type 1 fire. So we really ran the gamut. And then some of our discussions really centered around when we do have these incidents, long duration incidents, focusing on closure areas and how do you weigh the risks and the rewards of closing everything down, getting folks completely out of the situation versus letting the public have access to the wilderness, have access to the backcountry, and then let them see the role of fire on the ecosystem. I think that's one of our major selling points, is where we can safely sell our program to the public, is letting them see it in action while it's happening, where it's safe to allow to do so. So we had some good chats about that. And then also we had some focused conversations about, well, how do you decide to buy one of these fires, and when is the right time to do so? And so we talked a little bit about the Bob Marshall guidebook, and then also the very frank and candid discussions that need to take place between your fire management officers and your fire program, and then the line officers, and how much they're willing to accept. And we're very fortunate in the complex to have some very experienced line officers that definitely know more than I will ever know about this, but they have definitely seen and done a lot, and that's thanks to you guys for coaching them along the way. But very experienced line officers here that are willing to go do some really neat stuff back there. From the group, was there any particular thing that you guys wanted to talk about? I think one of our better questions yesterday was, so how do you manage a fire? Do you not just let it burn? And I thought that was a great question. That came from one of the students, but it was a really great question, and the answer is no, we don't just let a fire burn. We're constantly managing it, and that can mean various things. Maybe we're going to go tuck one edge of it in on one flank for various reasons, or we're going to monitor it from the air or from staffed points on the ground. Maybe we're going to go set up structure protection around certain values at risk, and let the fire do its thing while continuing to protect our important values. So we had some really good discussions about that type of stuff yesterday.